so freaking bad. Wrestle me.
Welcome, everybody, to Juice Pro Wrestling episode 141, Brawl at the Brew. That's right, Brawl at the Brew with the one, the only, Kyle Hessler from Palē Pro Wrestling. Did I get it right? You right?
Got excelente, my friend, excelente.
Hell yeah. You guys are an up-and-coming, badass independent promotion from Arlington, Texas, based out of Arlington, Texas, I should say. And your guys' first show is coming up January 14th. On FITE TV. So Thursday. Everybody, if you got the app or you got your laptop out and you already have FITE, make sure you order this show. And the great thing is you can watch it anytime, even if you don't happen to catch it live. You should try to catch it live, because if you don't, then, whatever, you just watch it later. But just watch it. Anyways, we like to feature a lot of people from around the world, around the country, different promotions that maybe people don't know about. And what a perfect opportunity to feature a fledgling promotion that's kind of just starting out. Maybe you're just starting out. I mean, you seem like when I did a little bit of creeping on your socials that you had some other stuff going on before. So we'll get into that real quick before we dive into the show. Kyle, for everybody out there watching and listening, where the hell did the idea for starting a wrestling promotion come from for you? And how did your journey in pro wrestling come about?
Well, this will have to take us back all the way to 1999, and when I was a 7-year-old lad. We're gonna have to go.
WCW, brother.
There, I mean, dude, it's like anybody else. It's who doesn't want to either wrestle, be a part of a wrestling show, do a wrestling show. I mean, who doesn't want to be part of that? If you grew up in the 90s or early 2000s, everyone wants to do it. And I am just very fortunate and blessed by God that I just kind of stumbled, not by my own skill, but just more like dumb luck. I just kind of met the right people, had some, some investments and opportunities like that. And really it really came down to just having a desire and a will and a passion. And honestly, I'd be
man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And honestly, I'd be nowhere without some of the people I've worked with. So the story from last year was I met a promoter in Texas named Devin Storm, and just had a bunch of back and forth with him. He runs a couple different shows down in Cleburne, Texas, and just told him, hey, I had this idea for putting on a show. I really want to exhibit or, showcase like the top indie Tex talent. And so I just wanted to put that on. So.
Nice. Is he the one, does he run that? Was it APW?
Advanced Pro Wrestling. Yep.
So did a little bit of homework, just a little bit.
yeah. Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's awesome. So, I mean, and for the people that don't know out there, I mean, we've had promoters on the show, like Mikey from Black Label and Steve from Warrior Wrestling, out this way.
Steve's the best. Steve's the best. Love Steve.
You're friends with Steve? Steve is great. Steve is.
I called him out of the blue back in August before they did their first outdoor show. And I just totally out of the blue said, hey, sir, my name's Kyle. I'm running a show in August, and I have a lot of the same talent. Would you have a problem if I bought a ticket, came up, and just met some of the guys and just got to know them? He said, you don't even need to get a ticket. Just come up here and meet them. So I've gotten to be backstage at a bunch of the Warrior shows, and I've gotten to help them with like transport and stuff. But Steve is like legit one of the best guys I've ever met. And he's a great dude. I just can't sing his praises enough.
Yeah. Everything you just said is very true. Very true. Yes. That's awesome. So we probably ran into each other, didn't know it then. I mean, I think the only 2 Warrior shows I've missed, the first 2, because I wasn't even aware they were around until the 3rd show. And then that's when we started having Steve on and going, really hard in the paint every show after that. And then the last 2 stadium series, I was at the Friday Night Lights and the first.
We were at the first one, the one you were at, right? Kyle, you went to the first one?
Yeah, the one that ended with Cobb, Cage, Lance, and Adonis. Yeah, that was the first one I was at. And then I missed the middle of the 3 stadium series. So I was at the first and the 3rd.
Cool. Nice, man.
Yeah. They the best indie show in the market right now, in my opinion.
Totally, dude. Totally. And from a backstage perspective, the way, and I'm sure you saw it too, the way they treat the talent, is just, it's top notch. And it's really hard to come by in any part of the wrestling industry, unless you're, some of the guys in WWE don't even get treated that nice.
Yeah.
But, so we were talking off camera earlier, off air. You said you started out in MMA.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a little background on that.
So yeah, I was we were joking earlier. I got into amateur wrestling because I thought it was the WWE. I'm an idiot.
Then you wanted to go to the Kumite, right?
Yes. And then I was going to learn some Cobra Kai and all that stuff. But basically, I just wrestled throughout high school and stuff, and then found jujitsu, and that was judo chop, all that crap. But I just kind of I fell in love with like martial arts, and just very fortunate. Again, just total blessing, like just not of my doing. I ran into a guy, Stephen Wright, who ends up coaching a couple UFC champions. He's definitely coached Kimura Asadine. He coached Johnny Hendricks to the title.
Nice.
So he was my coach. I learned everything through him for striking purposes, kickboxing. And we moved from Minneapolis to Texas and turned pro, fought a couple times, and then just had a couple bad decision losses. So I was just like, I need to get a real job. And that's what I did.
So you're based out of Minnesota?
Minnesota, yes.
That's where you're from?
Yes, and I never ever get tired of hearing the accent ever.
Oh, yeah. Bodie, me and Bodie have both played with our bands out there several times.
Oh yeah,
okay,
dude,
we're good friends with some bands over there.
Oh yeah, and what a rich history in professional wrestling they have. I mean, it's a who's who of talent, and of course, you have the AWA from back in the day. So good on you, man. What?
Go ahead. I was just gonna say the only crappy part about Minneapolis was when I was there was like no indie scene, and now it's blown up. So as soon as I left, it blew up. But before I was there, nothing.
Well, I think that's kind of, how do I say this? It's something that's really kind of, I think, taken off really across the states the last, I want to say maybe 3 to 5 years, just because the independent scene has been fucking amazing. I mean, these guys have all been there, your Brian Cages and, even going back to like your Brody Lees and all that, but all this stock pile of talent, the AEW signing up, MLW, WWE, NXT, they've all been out there, and it's insane. And now that everybody is kind of getting back into wrestling again, it's just, man, you can go to these indie shows and they're putting on, perfect example, go to Warrior Wrestling or Freelance and see what these guys are putting on. And then you can go see the same guys on TV, same thing like with what you're doing. And we'll get into your show here in a little bit. But I mean, you got Lance Archer coming out. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
For your VIP meet and greet, so that's awesome, man. It's like, I think a lot of people are catching on to that, and you're starting to see more stuff. And we've said it tons of times on this program that it's almost like the revenge of the territories. They're but the indies now are like, they're the territories. It's not necessarily like your old NWA situation going on. It's a pretty cool thing, man.
It's great for the boys, especially after, the boys and girls, but it's been great for the workers up until 2020. And that ironically is when I got into it. But I mean, just talking to the guys, I mean, last year was such a beatdown, and hopefully this year is a little bit better. But 2018, 2019, these guys have been able to get so much work, because of the NWA, MLW, AEW, all these big name promotions where you can make a pretty decent, guaranteed income, and then supplement with some indie bookings on the weekends when they don't have major shows. It's great for the business. I mean, it really is. Yeah. And,
it's awesome that you don't have to be in WWE as a professional wrestler, man or woman. And you don't have to go there, because that was the thing back in the day why I was heartbroken when WCW and ECW went down. It's like, man, I felt bad for the boys and everybody, because where are you going to go? They're not going to sign the 500 wrestlers that are out there. They're one fucking brand, one company. It was just.
I know Jericho. There's like a Jericho Meltzer podcast, and they were talking about when Vince bought WCW that was a huge problem. That within, I think it was a month, ECW and WCW closed. So if WCW closed, some of those guys will get picked up by ECW, even if it's not as much money. At least it's TV time. It's something, and then that just was gone, and we really didn't have anything wrestling related on regular TV until TNA, really.
Right.
So,
yeah. And then, it took ROH a little while to kind of get up, to that platform.
And they've
kind of been peaks and valleys ever since.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing nowadays where people already have a name for themselves on the indies, and they go on WWE, NXT or somewhere else, and they already have this huge cult following, so you don't need the E behind you to get that marketing push.
And that's great because they used to, you guys remember back in the day, it was WWE wouldn't bring in, and they might bring in an indie darling, but they would strip down everything you were, everything you thought you knew, and you're being manufactured by the machine now, which is very much the concept of NXT. Like very few guys get away, example, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, with keeping their personas and pretty much the same move sets and, whatever they want to do. What brought them to the dance? That's not a lot of people get that. And WWE used to be very much against that. That's why you saw nothing but like your Rob Conways and guys that just like, and I'm sorry, no disrespect to him, but it's like, what impact did he leave on the sport or on any of us or anybody watching and listening right now,
Yeah. And I'm you beat me to it with the AJ Styles. I think part of the reason I don't like doing the whole Vince bashing thing just because we're not in his shoes. I'm not saying he's a perfect man by far, but you know what I mean? I'm just not going to do that. But one of the things I know that he loves Styles, and I wonder if it's one of those things because Styles is like the only guy major name that they've signed in the last 10 years that didn't go to NXT and just debuted right away. And I wonder, it's funny because they have that system mindset that it's like, dude, I watched all of those guys in ROH, Adam Cole, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, like all of these guys. They probably could have debuted on the main roster and been fine. Maybe they would have not got the big pop like AJ did, but it's kind of like that backwards thinking of like, we've got our system, but we don't like the results of our system. You know what I mean? So, but it's good that the industry is kind of getting a second wave of opportunities for guys to really just do the sport that they love.
But there are also a ton more schools everywhere. Good schools, not just like, hey, we're going to do this for 3 weeks. Give us some money and we'll run out of money. Like, we're just going to take your money and get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
I'm sure, there's probably just as many shoddy businesses, wrestling schools as there are good ones. But I hear back in the day used to be, you hear about all the bad ones. But nowadays it's a lot, like I hear the Dudley's got a good school. You even got like a Trey Miguel has a good school. Seth Rollins has that. Was it the Black and the Brave?
Yeah. Booker T's got that.
Right.
Booker T's, the Reality of Wrestling, all their stuff is great down in Houston. And then up here in Dallas, got to put over my guy Lamont. He runs VIP Dallas. It's DFW All Pros. They're probably the best school in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So, I mean, and that's where Keith Lee essentially came from. So, I mean, it's an ACH too. So it's, nice. Their schools are out there to put over talent. It's really just, it's like anything else. Are people sticking the course from beginning to end and putting those thousands of hours they got to put in to make themselves successful? So it's good that there's plenty of schools and opportunities for guys to just grow and learn and get better and better.
So did you, when you were coming up, I know you said, your partner, Devin Storm, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's essentially running Palē Pro with you, right?
Yeah. He's like, he helped me book this first card and he's like a behind the scenes guy. I mean, he's got 30 plus years in the business. He's been all over Texas. He knows everybody. And so he's just a guy that, I mean, just what a humble guy to take me on as kind of like, I don't want to say like a protege, but I text him all the time. I was just texting him before the show, just saying, hey, what do you think about this and this? And I don't always agree with him. Sometimes I go a different direction, but I always talk to him about it. And it's been such a blessing. I don't think we would be able to have put on this first show. I know we wouldn't be able to put on this first show without his wisdom and knowledge. So
with that being said, when you came to this dream, this realization that you were actually going to do this and commit, I mean, how many times have you had like, oh, holy shit moments or like, I'm going to lose my mind, I mean, putting together, can you walk us through like putting together a show, at least your experience in putting together one?
Oh, it's a nightmare. I mean, it's like, dude, you were asking about this before. So the first show I put on was the Indie Wrestling Expo back in August. And that was a 2-day show. And that was just, from a fan's perspective, what a freaking show. I mean, we had
Brian Cage, tons of talent.
Yeah, Brian Cage, Nick Aldis, Lance Archer, Jacob Fatu, Alex Hammerstone, Myron Reed. I mean, we had Thunder Rosa. You just can go through the whole freaking thing. And it's a great card. But it also is like, I've learned since that I did everything backwards. So the first thing I did in August was, let's book the card. Oh, I really want to see Nick Aldis. Oh, I really want to see Hammerstone. I really want to see this guy. I want to see this guy. And putting it together. What I realize now is not that the workers aren't important, but if you're not busting your tail on the promotion side, like every day putting up flyers, every day talking to people, social media, all that different stuff, doing interviews, podcasts, all that different stuff. If you're not doing that, you could book John Cena and it doesn't matter. That's just, that's just the reality.
Yeah. No, that is totally true, brother. I totally agree with that.
Can't see him anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's like, oh man, did y'all hear about when he had to go to the ICU?
Huh? No,
he had to go to the ICU.
I heard about Dr. Dre going, but not him.
No, he woke up and he's like, where am I? And they're like, the ICU. And he says, no, you can't.
Oh my God. Hey, I'll give it to you. That's better than Duff McKagan's joke of the week on Jericho's show.
Oh yeah. Dude, that was good. That was
that one's 100. I stole it from Reddit. Sorry guys. I was looking up dad jokes and
that's all right. I don't really fuck with Reddit.
But no, it was putting on a show, it really comes to to the guys that were on the show, like I said, Brian Cage, one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. Nick Aldis was on my show. I had Sean Spears. I had Brian Pillman Jr., all these different great guys. But I kind of disserviced them because I was thinking just their name would draw. But it's like when you're starting something from scratch, you need to do the legwork. You need to build up that brand. And branding is not always the most fun thing. Like I really don't like it, but you got to do it. And that was the part that I've learned.
Tenfold. So, I try to get Stretton to realize that. And he's like, I'm getting off social media. I'm frustrated. I don't post anyway. But
I deleted all my social media apps.
These guys, what a team I have here.
We know where all the hard work comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Oh, I never take credit for the social media. Not ever.
No, we do what we can. But I mean, you were exactly right on that. And now getting into because I don't know. I mean, I know what some of these guys, what their asking price and shit is. And, I'm not really trying to get you to call and say, hey, this is whatever. But was there any part of the finance side, like say when you booked that first show, because you do have a lot of big names on there, was there any thing that you're like, damn, man, you're kind of gritting your teeth, man, this, I got all these names and how am I going to put this together financially? Are you pretty solid on that end or?
Yeah, for that first one, we were fine. And, we kind of, me and my business partner, Steven, the guy that was my coach, we decided to partner on it. And part of the thing we had decided was we were kind of looking at the landscape of wrestling at the moment. And we were like, man, people missed out on Mania. People missed out on SummerSlam. Maybe if we do a big super card,
you could at least break even maybe.
Yeah, something like that. And just as a start, and I'll be the first to say, it was probably the most fun weekend I've ever had. It was a blast. But it was also an incredibly humbling moment because, like I said, we were just kind of, I don't want to say throwing money at it, but we just didn't do the part of it we needed to do, which was legwork, which was, grit and grind kind of stuff. And, that's the hard part. So as far as financially goes, wrestling is not crazy, stupid expensive to put on, especially compared to boxing or kickboxing or MMA, because
people
depending on the state,
the world, international flights and all that.
And in the boxing world, it's always a license. In certain states for wrestling, you don't have to do a license or stuff.
Thanks,
like that.
Vince.
So it makes it a lot. Yeah. I'm definitely for less government regulations. So, I'm all for safety, but still,
Right.
But no, so, as far as this financial side, wrestling's not all that crazy expensive to put on, but there's kind of a downside to it, right? MMA, you can put on an MMA show tomorrow and it'll sell just because it's MMA, it's local, people will go to it. Right. Not always, but for the most part, people will go. And also you'll have guys sell tickets and all this stuff. Wrestling's niche. And so as much as there is a huge wrestling following, it's not the 90s. It's you don't have 100 or 10 million people every Monday watching wrestling. And so You got to do the, put the poster up at the gas station, in the laundromat, stuff like that. You got to just go to the comic book store and hand out flyers and stuff like that. It's just more niche. And so the downside of it being not as expensive is it definitely has, less expense, but less opportunity to just like make $1 million at it as an indie show.
Right. Well, and I would imagine too, as you grow and you progress and you learn from, previous mistakes, hence like, your first show where you said, the promotional side and all that, as you grow and learn and do things the right way, there is room for profitability. At least I'm not saying you're going to blow up and you'd be like, Mr. McMahon, I'm the cock of the walk.
Yeah.
Hey,
Somebody say cock of the walk.
yeah.
Somebody say walking.
cock.
I didn't ask for this, but he's getting it.
That's you don't know shit about walking.
You're the cock of nothing.
Sometimes I pull my hammies when I walk.
I'm all cock.
Wait.
I'm all walk.
Those damn 3 Vinces, they're always dropping in on the episode.
And those 3 Vince, just such good shit. Just great stuff.
Who was that? The best shit. That's gimmick infringement there.
It's the best shit ever.
Yeah.
God bless Brody Lee for giving us that. That was so great.
Yeah. R.I.P. Brody, man. That was a hard pill to swallow. It still is. Here we are, a few weeks removed from it. It's just, I
still get choked up, man.
Yeah. And the thing is, I would have loved, and I know for a fact that guys like yourself, Kyle, and shout out once again to Steve Tortorella. What's up, brother? Man, they would have brought him in if that was a possibility. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of AEW talent that's still, able to go work. You threw out a plethora of names that we've either had on the show or, met through Warrior, seen at Warrior, your Brian Cages and Brian Pillman Jr. and yada, yada, yada. But, man, I would have loved to have seen him back like on an indie show.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go on a little bit higher note.
Yeah.
So now that we kind of know like the inner workings and what you've kind of gone through to put this together, I want a little bit of your background on wrestling history because you're a younger cat, right? How old are you?
I'll turn 30 this year.
Oh man, you're a tender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of got you? What sparked your interest in pro wrestling? What was it that got you in there? That's like, man, I got to be a huge part of this.
I know it was just watching it in the 90s. I just remember, Steve Austin. I don't remember anything specific. And if I say, I remember, when Mick Foley won that would be a lie because it's from watching it later. But I think the first memories I had were actually of JBL's title run, which
wow. See, and I like that. It's cool coming. How do I explain this? I'll sound like a complete dickhead. As a wrestling
you
fan,
always sound like a dickhead. Sorry.
It's true. It's damn true. Not Sren, shut the fuck up.
I love it.
What an asshole. But I'm always sitting there thinking like, because of my age and whatever, and all the wrestling I've been through, I always neglect the fact that there's younger generations and where they started watching. So I'm always very curious about this because I was fortunate enough to start in like the 80s, like the golden era, and live through every badass era thus far of professional wrestling. So I'm very curious about what you have to say in your start in it.
Well, I mean, I just, I got started just watching like JBL, John Cena, all this different stuff.
That bloody
it was fun.
Match.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was funny. I was at that Judgment Day between Cena and JBL where he broke the Muda scale. And it was like, I think that was my first wrestling event. Maybe I've gone to something else, but yeah, I mean, that's where I got started. But the saving grace for me, honestly, because like many other people, I've gone ebbs and flows with WWE. I mean, it was, I think I got out 2007, 2008 of watching regularly. And then, and then CM Punk blew up and went to that and then kind of came back later and kind of ebbs and flows. But what was a huge thing for me was I don't even remember how. I think somebody just showed me. They were like, "You like wrestling? You guys see this dude that does a double front flip?" And I was like, "What?" It was AJ Styles doing the 450. And through that, I didn't go to TNA right away, but somehow I discovered Ring of Honor in like 2003, 2004. And I do not think I would be a fan of wrestling today if it wasn't for that, because through that I discovered Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, CM Punk, Nigel McGuinness, all those guys.
Oh man,
you could go on and
goes on and on.
Dude, if you look at the list of guys, it's legit like 30 guys that are stars right now. It's insane.
Future Hall of Famers,
Tyler Black.
I would say not even just WWE, like in a pro wrestling sense, as far as like name value, and draw, putting asses in seats, like tons of them, tons of Hall of Famers.
Oh yeah. The industry is made of those guys that were in that South Philly gym. I mean, it is what it is. But through that, then I found like Pro Wrestling Noah, which led me to All Japan. And I didn't really even get into New Japan until the last like 4 or 5 years. But I was a huge Kenta Kobashi mark. Samoa Joe versus Kobashi is like, put that in my veins. Like I can watch that all day. I mean, so like for me, it's funny because I've, like I said, Ring of Honor 2003, 2004 is probably the most important wrestling to me. I've got a bunch of DVDs, but it wasn't until 2 years ago I got into indie wrestling. And since I've started promoting and stuff, I don't know about you guys. I honestly, I don't even watch WWE. I barely even keep up. And then even AEW, like as much as I love it, and it's a good show, I'm just so busy with
such good shit.
It really is, but I also just don't even watch that really anymore. I just pick and choose matches. But as far as like wrestling, like from start to beginning of a show, I just watch indie stuff now.
And that's the luxury we have in 2021 and the last couple of years and beyond is there is so much wrestling. So it's,
so much of it. Yeah.
It's like,
and it's so good.
Or a buffet. It's whatever you want to, compare it to. That's you watch whatever you want, taste whatever you like. And
there's so much out there. Like, I'm not even the hugest comedy wrestling guy. Like I loved Colt Cabana. But like, have you guys watched like Danhausen?
Oh yeah.
I love Danhausen.
He cracks me up every time. Like I'm actually at the point where on his Twitter, I'm actually like in my head, I'm reading his voice,
Oh yeah.
But, but my point is there's just so much out there. Like if you like that kind of wrestling, there's him, there's Warhorse, both great guys.
I love Warhorse.
But if you like the more, serious, like you talked about like the golden era of wrestling, the guy that's, Sam Adonis is like, he's going to be a star. And I'm lucky I get to book him for my first show because he's a classic wrestling dude, but he knows what he's doing. So,
and he's got a great dude too, man. That guy is like a wealth of wrestling knowledge,
I told him when he's done, he needs to open a wrestling museum. So, but he said he'd have too much heat.
Rudos de las chicas.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Dude,
love Sam Adonis, man.
Warrior. He is. I want him to be the next Warrior champion so bad. And that's actually a nice segue. Speaking of championships, now I want to kind of get into what you have built up here for January 14th, the Brawl at the Brew. Live on
one
FITE
thing
TV.
we're going to do is...
Oh, there it is.
It's so pretty.
There it is. Look like King Corbin for a second.
Big shout outs to Wildcat Belts. This was they got this turned around real quick. Real good guys, Andrew and them. So
they did a lot of Wildcat's done a lot for a lot of people. I know they TNA. I think Wildcat didn't they do the last TNA world title?
They did.
Yeah.
The one that Moose is like still carrying around now.
Yes.
Yep. So
it's pretty. Yeah, it's so pretty.
But we will be awarding that to. We're gonna have a one night tournament between Noby Bryant and Otto Von Clutch from California. Noby Bryant's a local guy around here, but he's worked like All Japan. He's worked Mexico. He's an under the radar guy that I mean in my Expo he wrestled Nick Aldis for the NWA title. So I mean he's right there, man. So that'll be a great match. And then we've got on the other side of the bracket, we've got Oski Palmino, who's a Dallas luchador guy, real good worker. He's back at WCW Power Plant. So he's a vet. Man.
Nice.
And then he'll go against the previously mentioned Sam Adonis. So we'll see what kind of, we'll see what happens in the finals, but it should be a great one night tournament. So.
Hell yeah. So kind of running down the card real quick. What else do you have lined up for this show?
Well, we're going to be opening it up with Will all day. He's going to be I texted him. He's going to be defending his Texas title. Nice. That's kind of it's not on any of our it's on the FITE page, but it's not on our promotional stuff. But he's going to be defending his Texas title against Chandler Hopkins, who, I mean, we're starting with this. This is a 5-star kind of match, honestly.
Yeah, another great high flyer, man.
Yeah, Chandler.
Dude, both these guys, if they're not stars by 2022, then something's
by
wrong
next
with the industry.
Thursday at approximately 8 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right after the 3 count. Yeah.
Kramer hears about this. The shit's gonna hit the fan.
Yeah.
Little airplane reference for you.
They're gonna get out of the ring and just sign up NXT right here. So
Yeah.
But no, those guys, I mean, honestly, they're two of the best high flyers, but they're two of the best workers too.
Farm burner, man.
Mm-hmm. So I moved that to our opening match. Just got to start off with that. We've also got Beastman and Beastman Husk of Warrior Vet.
Dub alumni too.
Yeah. And he's going to be going against another kind of enigma kind of guy, the Magnificent Malico.
Can you give us a little bit of background? Because this guy's intriguing, and he's got this weird ass look, and I don't know in the flyer if it's like shit that's drawn behind him or like how it's weird. He blows my mind. So please.
No, I kid you not. The first time I heard about him was Devin Storm said, "Oh yeah, he's gonna be one of my champions, and you got to use him. He's great, and he's the best promo in the world." Just casually said it. I'm like, what? He said that to my guy Steven, who is a longtime wrestling fan too, and we both kind of like, well, whatever. How good could it be? And then we saw it, and his promos are just unbelievable. He really might be the best promo in the world right now. I mean, I'm going to make sure he gets the mic for a little bit so everyone can understand. He's freaking great. So, but he's the leader of the Mad World here in Texas, kind of a faction. And, he's a great worker and another guy that's just like, he's going to be a star somewhere. Somebody's going to sign him. Somebody's going to get smart and realize like, I got to get this guy. I don't care for what, I just got to use this guy. So.
Yeah, that look is amazing that he has.
Oh yeah.
When I saw him, I'm like, who is this dude? I saw it, dude. I've been like just all over him, like trying to find out who he is and watching shit.
My favorite thing with him is he is trying to get over just on ability. He's not like a huge social media guy. It's not that he doesn't do like he cuts his own promos. He does his own vignettes and all that stuff. It's all great, but he's not a huge social media guy. He is trying to get over just on his ability, which it's going to happen because he's that freaking good.
School.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I was just by his look. And I mean,
that's what stuck out to me too. I was like, what's this dude's story, man? I was like, I really want to know more about this dude.
Right. He'll be great. And you're going to like the matchup with Beastman. It's just, it's the kind of show I want to put on is, if you can't tell, I really want to get prospects. I want to get people that, I'm not holding on to forever because I don't have contracts or anything, but I want to get guys that it's like the first time I saw him was at this. I want to have the same experience I had with Ring of Honor, kind of with my guys. I didn't make them. I'm just wanting to provide that platform. And so all of these guys are guys that I fully expect to be in like NXT or AEW or New Japan or wherever, but they're guys that whether they're world champions or not, maybe not, but I'm trying to get guys that you'll be hearing about in like the PWI 500, stuff like that. So
awesome.
And you all know Beastman, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's the best.
I heard of him.
He's amazing. In passing.
I honestly think he might be the most agile, like big super heavyweight I've ever seen.
Exactly.
He can move. When
he was on the show, I told him that I was like, man, I was super impressed with the way he moved. It, reminiscent of super heavyweights like Vader or a Bam Bam Bigelow that, were so agile. And even Yokozuna, who was a uber heavyweight, he jumps up to fucking uber at that point when you talk about Yoke.
Mm-hmm.
But man, yeah, very impressed. And I love Beastman. He's a good guy, dude. I love his whole gimmick, everything about him. Class act.
His gimmicks is just real. That's how he is. I had lunch with him at in Pittsburgh a few months ago, and just
where's the Colonel?
No, I'm just joshing. He's a great dude, and he's fantastic. So, and I think just some of the other matches we got a triple threat between. A local guy, Jason Bruce, who's kind of a cowboy guy, veteran Grizzly, kind of I don't want to say Stan Hansen like, but just
Ooh, I
good
like
old
that.
school. Yeah,
It's
definitely
Texas. Come on,
right, exactly. So you gotta have one guy.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but so he'll be going against AJZ, who is a OVW guy, and he's this dude. When I talk about a body dude, like I don't want to sound like a gay dude because I'm married, all that. But no, I'm serious. I'm just
hey
joking.
man, we're wrestling fans. Trust me, and I love like comics and all that and action movies.
But when you talk about his body,
physique.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
When you talk about his body, please talk slow.
Yeah, but
and like Barry White.
Sorry, keep going.
Oh, I can't do that. But no, he's like one of those guys that's like he's like a Rick Rude kind of guy.
Oh, dude, like Ultimate Warrior, just chiseled,
just body guys, man,
just shredded,
really
ripped up like shredded wheat.
And what's worse is he's bringing his manager, Callie, and she's also a bodybuilder. So it's just like, come on, what are the odds these 1%ers get together?
Yeah, right.
Right. But and then they're going to go against a guy named Garrison Creed, who I think y'all might know also from Warrior, Wisconsin.
Too,
Yep. So he's a great guy. So that's going to be a great little triple threat. That might even kind of, we're going to kind of start as we develop our brand, figure out rankings and stuff like that. And so that's going to be a kind of a marquee match to keep your eye on where that guy ends up. So, and then after that, I think we've just got the 5-man scramble match. If I'm not missing anything.
Scrambles even make it to Texas. I like it.
Oh yeah, dude.
Well, scramble matches.
I'm kind of calling this the prospect scramble. I mean, it's like these are, we all know in wrestling, there's so many layers to these things, and with no discredit for these guys, I'm not sure how many of these guys will be known outside of Texas or Cincinnati, where I've got a couple of them coming in from. But I think by the end of this match, whether it's Icon Lee, Skip Terrific, Sean Evans, Ballard Bridges. Yeah, Icon's from Warrior too, so another guy like that. And so I think the winner of this is going to be like another on the radar guy. He's probably going to be in a marquee matchup next time, just depending on how the crowd reacts and all that stuff. But I'm big on those kind of opportunities matches where guys get a chance to show
you're
guys.
Speaking, and not to cut you off, Kyle, but of opportunity and stuff, for the men and women out there listening or watching that are in the biz themselves, people that may not get heard of or may not be known, a lot of that, and I firmly believe this, just as a musician and coming from that world, if you don't travel and make yourself known, you will never be known. If you're just some local guy that, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If that's your choice, that's fine. But if you stick to your local fed and you never want to go anywhere else and you never do it, you could put out as much social media shit as you want, unless you're just some ungodly, insane talent, like AJ Styles mixed with like a Teddy Hart or something ridiculous, and you got a million memes or GIFs out there. You're never going to go anywhere. So, ladies and gentlemen, travel, explore those different worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to get into any private stuff or anything like that, but let's just put it this way. I've got a guy coming from California. I've got 2 guys from Pittsburgh. I've got 3 guys from like Cincinnati, Ohio Valley area. I've got a dude coming in from Wisconsin. Got guys coming in from South Texas, Houston. I mean,
that's good, man. That's what you need, dude. It's
yeah.
Like I mean, parallels with music, dude. You want to go tour. It's essentially, touring and playing different states, different cities, shows, and then selling your merch. It's the same exact thing.
Did you ever hear the story about like the how the Beatles really like? I forget the name of the book, but there's a book about the Beatles basically spent like 1,000 hours of playing in Germany for like 2 years, where basically they played every single night. They played like 600 shows in a row. I don't think they made jack squat, but the whole point of the book was that I've said it before that you guys probably get it too, that 1,000 hours principle of like, to be great at anything, put in that 1,000 hours. Well, they did that. And I really, as a promoter, I don't want to be a guy that's saying this so I can get like some deals with guys or cheapskate people. But, I'm running a small show at a brewery. It's an opportunity. It's on FITE. That's what I can offer people. And it's mutually beneficial, obviously. And so I'm really grateful for the people that, I'll just say it, They sold themselves to me. They reached out to me. Hey, I see you got a show coming up. Check out my highlight footage. Can I get booked? And then worked with me on some stuff. So
nice.
I've got a couple guys, AJZ, Sean Evans, and Icon Lee. They're driving from Cincinnati.
Wow.
I mean, come on now.
I made that Texas drive a bunch of times.
It's no joke, dude. It's no joke.
It's no joke at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just want to put them over on that. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, they don't mind me saying that.
It's what they got to do.
Yep.
Men and women got to get out there and don't expect to get, signed to some major company without putting in the time like that. Because then, say if you're that 1 percentile that somehow gets signed to a major fed because of, like I said, your videos, but you're still in the small little territory. Like I'll put an example, say, we're in Northwest Indiana. Well, me and Sren, but Chicago, Ohio, Indiana, that's all you work, maybe Kentucky or something. And then you somehow get signed, but then you have this huge burden now of traveling. And how does that affect people? And I don't want to say any names. There's one instance I could think of maybe, here recently where it blows people's minds and they're like, wow, I'm not ready for this. Like you have to prepare yourself because it is a grind. And even on the indies, it's a continuous grind. And it's something, as Kyle, like as a promoter and, a guy who did MMA and stuff, and a man that has dreams and is passionate about it, the work has to be there. It has to be there. Yeah. The passion has to be there. And it's a total grind and there is no accepting the failure or slouching on what you're trying to do. It's just boom, 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 hit it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think that's, I was paid a disservice when I was getting raised that like I didn't have a dad. And so I wasn't taught, baseball's hard. You can't just quit. You got to stick this out. You got to finish the season. And unfortunately, I'm sure I'm not the only one that had that kind of childhood experience. And luckily I fell into some right crowds where people said, you need discipline, you need this, you need to work hard. You need to learn the value of hard work and effort and all that stuff. And, honestly, I think we all need to learn that nowadays because it's
especially
really
Chicago Bears.
Bears. Oh man, dude, I just want to say that game was closer than it looked, but I was pained for every Bears fans I know because I know.
It's hard being a Bears fan.
Just real quick, would you guys? Because I, from my standpoint, I would keep Nagy and I would keep Ryan Pace because I think they've done a good job. It's the roster needs to be overturned. I think there was some problems.
I only got to hit the reset button on this episode. Get the fuck out of you right now, man. Delete.
I would start at the top. I would fire Ted Phillips, and then I'd fire that jabroni Ryan Pace. And then I would tell Nagy to get the hell out of my office because he's fucking fired. I'd tell Trubisky to pack his bags, go somewhere else because he's probably better off.
What's the ownership? The McCaskies?
The McCaskies, yeah.
McCaskies.
She's the daughter of George Hallis.
Right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you're George screwed until they're gone.
Yeah.
Old.
And George McCaskey actually is like the operator. Like,
yeah.
You're screwed then.
I know.
Legacy teams, it never works.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
dude. It's a tough. It's tough for us Bears fans, man.
It is.
There's a lot of Bears fans out there, dude. Seth Rollins is a huge Bears fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Can I flip? I want to ask you guys some questions now.
Go ahead.
Because I just discovered this within the last few days. So is there any wrestling going on in Chicago because of? I don't want to get into politics, but nonsense.
There's nothing going on right now. AAW was doing some stuff. So right when the Warrior Series Stadium Series ended, that was pretty much, that was it for them until, like spring or whenever, shit gets a little better.
They can go back inside. Yeah. And
then AAW was doing something. I think they did a live series, which was also available on FITE. So go watch it. They ran 2 or 3 of them, I believe. And with the way the shit is in the city, and there were some spikes, they kind of cut that out. And Freelance has it, and it's weird because as of this day that we were recording, exactly a year ago, or maybe it was yesterday, but anyways, it's within the realm of a year. I attended my first Freelance show with Sretton, and he had already been to a few, and it's just crazy to think of where we came in a year, and even a couple months after attending that show and we were so stoked about what the future of, this podcast was going to be like last year, and the future of just Chicago wrestling in general, which is red hot. Like, and no knock to any other city that's killing it.
Oh, it's the best.
It's the mecca of pro wrestling, dude, for large companies, major promotions. I've seen MLW. I've been up there for their TV tape, their pay-per-views, WWE, AEW. We've been to all that, all this crazy independent stuff that's going on up there. Yeah, but no one's doing anything. And even
BCW is,
if you're familiar with Black Label Pro, which runs out of Crown Point, they did some things. And then, Mikey, kudos to him. He doesn't want to put anybody in danger. So it's until shit gets better, there's nothing going on here. And that sucks a big bag.
Yeah. In Wisconsin, Milwaukee, BCW runs often. They've run a lot with COVID protection. So like everyone's, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And then Zello Pro too. I've seen them do a few shows in Illinois.
Yeah, they've done some, but they're another Chicago-based promotion. And I thought for the longest time, I thought they were based up by you, Bodie. I was like,
so did I. They run a lot of shows up here. So when I found out they're from Chicago, I was like, oh, sweet. But I know they had one Milwaukee show that was canceled,
which is
Mondo Lucha.
Down. Shout out to Jay and them guys at Mondo Lucha. They haven't been able to do anything.
No.
Gali did one about a month ago. Gali Lucha in Chicago. A month before the third. So Chicago's had I think 3 or 4 citywide shutdowns where they just shut everything down. And then the rest of Illinois is not so locked down. Us in Indiana, I mean, that's really a reason. So there's people are doing things here and there, but also it's winter time. So there's a lot of those protocols, like safety protocols, that are much harder up here because you're in enclosed spaces. Wrestling fans have bad hygiene. You can sit and ball.
It's all right.
I was like, where are you going with that?
I was waiting for it.
I was like, where? Oh, yeah. Let's check.
So you might not catch
like Ricky Stark.
Dude, you have everyone's. If you're not a pro wrestling fan, if you haven't sat down at a show and gone like,
oh man, it's bad.
God. I think the last MLW one, me and Stretton were at, we were sitting there, and not only did some of the fans smell god awful, dude, there was they had the doors open next to where the dumpsters were, and there was trash. Worst trash stench you could think of, just wafting in.
Bathrooms open, just. I was like in Milwaukee when they came by. I did the same thing. I'm like, oh man, and then the bathrooms are wide open. I'm like, come on, guys, knock it off.
First time I met Hammerstone, I believe he was. I don't know. I've said it when we had him on the show. Dude, he'd eaten a bad burrito. I think it was coming out of the bathroom.
Yep.
I'll catch about to get you.
Yeah. But no, isn't it? I just want to say, I don't like getting to politics, because nobody really wants to hear it nowadays anyway. But it's one of those things where I tend to find myself on one side of the COVID thing where it's, I'm not sure how much good we're doing with some of this stuff. But I will say this. I think everybody in the wrestling community can agree that it's just a shame that we've been shut down for a year. And you talk to any worker, take it. I wouldn't say this if it wasn't clearly a public statement thing, but Sam Adonis, main eventer of main eventers, right? This guy should be on Impact or Ring of Honor. He should be a main eventer.
On Dark at least. I don't know
anything.
So many talents show up on Dark. I'm like, what?
He's got more. He's been in more big matches than almost anybody on AEW or Impact.
Dude, in Mexico, he was like the king.
He was the king
in Mexico.
I love MJF, but Sam Adonis is the best heel of the last 5 years. And granted, there's, he got to use the politics thing to his favor, but he got real heel heat. But Sam Adonis has to work at Amazon right now. And that's just brutal. It's and we should all be grateful that, we're not in poverty. No, there's people on the streets, but we're not in real poverty. Things are hard. And I just
bought a house, Kyle. What the fuck you talking about? I'm Poe.
There you go, man. You're balling.
Just pimping up here.
Johnny Manziel, man.
Yeah,
you're
right.
It's
always.
It's just one of those things that I just.
He said that. He did.
Yeah. Well, and I did the thing, man. Whatever. What did he do? He did
the money.
The money.
He did
$1 million man.
Jerry Maguire shit.
There you go. Yeah, show him the money all the way to the Canadian Football League that he doesn't play in anymore.
Yeah. No. But it's just brutal for those workers, man. I know
it's super sad, and for the wrestlers and, and people in general, the people that want to work, that I've been fortunate enough. I haven't been shut down with my job. But my shoot job, I'm involved in transportation. I sell semi-truck parts. People always need that shit. They're like, you're essential. You're not going to, you're going to risk your life so you can sell these damn heavy ass brake drums and shoes to these people, and I've been fortunate. I haven't gotten sick. I've been perfectly healthy. I've been able, like I said, to buy a house, provide for my family. So that's, I definitely feel for the wrestlers and anybody that's been put out because of this, because it's a shit show. We're in uncharted territory. You don't know where it's going, and the only fortunate thing I've ever been able to say about this is we've been able to establish a different variation of the show, which is what you're a part of right now. Doing the Zoom thing, which is something we should have done before, but we never even really gave a shit about or thought about. And that's been a blessing for us, to have your beautiful face, your handsome face on our program.
Is my camera not working? It must not.
No,
be
it is. I just
okay.
Let me get a Snapchat filter on you.
Then your glasses are busted, dude. Yeah,
we'll put a Brad Pitt Snapchat filter on your face afterwards.
There you go.
I want to deviate again real quick back into football talk because I watched the damn Bears game on Nickelodeon, dude.
Oh, that was awesome.
Okay, so I was just following on Twitter. I was like, what the hell are people talking about? I had dude, I didn't have any idea until Pat McAfee is just like tweeting on this. I'm like, what are they talking about? But please tell me, did you see the MVP thing?
Yes.
Oh. Did they try sliming somebody? And they...
No. Not only did they try sliming somebody, it was going to be the Nickelodeon valuable player.
Right.
The person that was voted it, which is
was it Trubisky?
It was Trubisky.
Yes. He was leading the votes. He
had like 49% of the votes.
Like, well, that's kind of unusual. It's like, well, good on him. He's getting some
It was
love.
so funny. They were showing a photo of like what it would have looked like him just sitting like Ben Roethlisberger just like looking down, and then the slime just hits him. It's like, please, I wanted that so badly.
I would have loved for that to happen to Smoking Jay Cutler.
Yeah, exactly.
Cigarette head all the time, looking all crotchety and shit.
Maybe
I thought the presentation.
I think wrestling needs more sliming. That's what I think.
Dude, it was awesome. Every time they scored a touchdown, there's like these CGI slime cannons.
That was cool.
They kick a field goal in the SpongeBob's face.
Yeah,
we need some wrestling like that.
That was wild.
Like every time they hit somebody, it'd be like the Adam West Batman, like a pow, bam, pow, pew. All right.
Sounds like you guys just invented a bucket of slime match. You got to climb a ladder and tip a bucket of slime.
Edit that out. Someone's gonna steal that damn idea.
I know.
Damn it.
Then we got to be a tag team and call ourselves Double Dare.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I'm gonna go way back into the past on Double Dare. I used to get so fucking a huge voracious appetite for Cheetos because of the stand that Mark Summers would and they had I would look at it and I shit you not, dude. I gotta have some Cheetos. I think that was subliminal.
Yeah,
I think
of course it was.
Fucking Cheetos.
Oh, dude, they were messing with our brains and all that kind of stuff. That Nickelodeon crap. But,
totally.
I was hooked. Hook, line, sinker.
For sure.
So Kyle, tell us a little bit about so this is being hosted at, what is it, Legal Draft Brewery, your event?
Yeah, it's Legal Draft Brewery. They're right in Arlington and
how's the beer?
I was gonna say some freaking great beer. I'm in talks with them about renaming one beer after our first champion. Ooh, so hopefully that gets to happen. So if you come to the event next time, maybe you can get the Otto Von Clutch beer or the Sam Adonis Stout, whatever it is.
That would be cool.
Although
he needs a Mexican lager.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. He's more of a lager kind of guy. Yeah. So, but no, it's gonna be a great little venue. They do like weddings and stuff there. They've got all this space, and it just so happened I kind of met the owner, and I was just like, hey, what do you think about doing this? And he's like, hey, whatever helps us sell beer. So
there you go.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. You totally.
Anyone that's listening, buy some freaking beer if you come, or just order it and deliver it while you watch it on FITE. That's what you need.
Exactly. I mean, I'll tell you what, and here's the thing too, why you guys use the hashtag Brawl at the Brew, why you guys are doing that, because I didn't think this could happen until I did it with a few shows. Like you want to be there, obviously. And if you can't because of COVID or whatever, or financially, whatever the reason, there is nothing wrong with sitting on Twitter, watching it at home with some beers, getting lit and enjoying it to where it's like almost like you're there. I genuinely had, like, the last couple of times I did that, I had a great fucking time doing that. And I was like, wow, like, it's not too bad. I'm in the comfortable area of my house and I'm drinking
in your underwear,
I think I was watching a GCW show, one of their more recent ones or something, and I was just like, you know what, this is actually pretty cool. I get to see like the homie Matthew Justice and Sabu tear it up and stuff, and tweet about it while I'm having a good time drinking beer. So please, everybody, use the hashtag Brawl at the Brew. There is nothing wrong with having a good time, and if you are there, buy some damn beer because that's what it's all about.
To go.
I think I could speak for all three of us that when we go to events, that is like my favorite thing till I start feeling like I have to call an Uber. Then it's like, damn it, I shouldn't have drove. Just get me home. No, I'm just joking. I don't ever really get like that until I do.
Always.
But, it's just a great time. It's, to me, like I said, going back to the music thing, it reminds me of being at like a metal gig or a show, a big fest, and having some beers and watching some great entertainment. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is,
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like, for me, that was a big thing. The first show we did was at a more of like a just traditional stadium, and that's fine, but we didn't really sell out. And so it's like, well, if I'm going to do more of an indie show where it's like, we maybe one day could get like 500 people. That'd be great when we build. But if we get like 60, 50 people on Thursday, I'll be happy. I mean, I really will be, because I think it's going to be a very hot crowd. I think they're going to get excited and they'll probably get drunk, but that's part of the fun too. But I thought a brewery would just be like a really fun, intimate feel, good craft beer. We've got one of our sponsors, Cartel Taco. They're just across the street. They're catering it. So it's like, you got tacos, you got beer, you got wrestling, so.
I'll call
by the way,
screw it.
By the way, you guys just need to come down and do a live podcast or something. Like, I gotta get you guys down here, because this is our home
with
base.
a good time.
Right? I'm already there.
Yeah, well,
we're there, dude.
All right. Well, should I drop? Should I? I'll give you guys a insight. Then our next show will be February 12th. So, yeah.
We're gonna have to do.
Would you like one name drop? Maybe one or two.
Definitely. Come on, give us
exclusives.
I'll give you guys the good stuff. I'll give you the exclusive. I've got Myron Reed coming in.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yep, big fan of Myron, and had him back in August, so really want to get him back. And then try to think of one of the other names I should drop. You guys know Do you guys know Mecha Wolf?
Oh my God!
No, Mecha Wolf. He's a homie. He's been on the show. He's really.
Yeah, I just think about that, the rock and roll, music thing. He's super into that. But yeah, I was like, I can't give away my main event, but I had to get Mecha Wolf. I have a couple other Hispanic guys coming on the show. It's going to be a really good show. But when I do February or January 14th at the end of our show, we're going to announce the main event.
Oh, boy.
So you got to stick in. But I promise you, it's going to be spectacular. It's going to be pretty crazy, and it might be a little psycho. So
wait a minute. Are you referring to Mecha Clown?
There are so many amendments in the Constitution. My favorite is the if my lips are 3, 4, 5. If spell, love that. But no,
I love it.
If you guys can come down, you should come down. I'd love to have you guys do a live podcast.
Oh my God,
man! If we can make that happen, we are totally. Like I said, you don't have to pull our arms to get this to happen. Look at Stratton's. He's like Texas.
Well, we'll get some barbecue, dude.
Tickets are cheap as shit right now. Round trip tickets are super cheap.
Oh yeah.
Very true. So as we wind down here, Kyle, I'd like to thank you for coming on here, and I want to give you this time and space on the program to, if you want to drop any shout outs to anybody, let everybody know where they can find you guys at on social media. And obviously, everybody knows about FITE, but if you want to tell them again, because they might have to hear it 7 times before it gets stamped into their brain. Oh yeah.
Order. It's also going to be on Title Match Pro Wrestling. But they're more known for your library services, but it'll be on both. So, if you have Title Match, you can use that as well. I I just want to shout out. I mean, there's just so many people to thank, but I'll have to save that for the end of our show once it's a success. But honestly, it's just first and foremost, I'm a Christian, so I would not be doing this if it wasn't for the grace of God. So, and I mean that fully, truly. I am nothing without His mercy. So there's that. Beyond that, it's just like, Sam Adonis is going to be my marquee guy for a long time, but that dude has given me every second of his time. He doesn't have to, he could have just blown me off, but that guy's amazing. Devin Storm, like I said, my booker, he's just great. His boys, his sons are great. There's just so many people to thank. My wife is awesome for letting me do it. She could have been like, wrestling? No.
You're doing what?
Wrestling?
Yeah. We got a kid on the way. What are you talking about?
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you. Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah.
Congratulations.
You know what you're having?
No, we're waiting.
Ooh,
kid.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, the only thing that sucks is I picked a boy's name, and now I'm going to be not disappointed if I don't have a boy, more disappointed if I don't get to use the name. So,
Yeah.
but no, just in all seriousness, thank my wife Jenny. She's always at the shows. She actually likes wrestling. She's gotten into it.
Awesome.
She, at the Expo, she was hanging out having breakfast with Jake the Snake Roberts and didn't think anything of it.
What?
And meanwhile, she starts telling this story to people, and they're like, "What?" Because Jake just, Jake kind of did his thing. He just got to hang out with like Lance and a few of the people he knew. But it was just like, it blew everyone's mind that she had breakfast with him and stuff. So she's great.
Freaking out.
But yeah, as far as just where to follow us, Palē Pro, it's not Palē. I can't do the little now, but Palē Pro Wrestling with an N, not a G at the end. On Twitter, Facebook, Palē Pro. Our website's palepro.com. And I'd appreciate any following or support. Just honestly, I'm just a wrestling fan trying to put on a great show. I'm not a great business guy. So we're just trying to put on a good show.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, brother, thank you so much for coming on. And like I said, we'll be in touch because you have a intriguing proposition. So.
Yes.
It's cold. I don't know if you guys can see it right now, but I'm recording in outer space and I can see my breath. You can't see it on camera, but I'm in the Juice Pro Wrestling universe right now, and it's cold up in here. So
it's 25 today.
It's so cold in the D.
It's cold as ice.
I love that. I love Foreigner. But anyways, Kyle, thank you guys so much. Dude, I hope that there you go. Brawl at the Brew.
Yeah.
Let me see that belt again.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Sexy
Look at that belt.
piece of gold.
That's sexy.
Watch it.
No,
What is
if
it,
we go down there,
$9.99 on
I'm gonna have
Fight?
to jump Sam Adonis or whoever wins it and take it.
I just gotta say, can I get your guys' 2 cents on something? I'm not gonna put myself on camera, but I really want to make sure I'm the one that awards this. Is that crazy, or is that I'm not trying to put
not
myself
at all.
It's your house.
No.
Okay, all right. Well,
It's your thing.
I just don't want to put myself over.
Do what you're gonna do.
Do it.
Hey!
Dude, next time I come on, you just got to get like a boombox going. I mean, you just guys are so musical.
Oh, dude.
So it happens.
Anytime anybody brings up a word or there's certain triggers that like, oh shit, that's a song. Let's do it. I just shout it out, It's
That's the most politest. That's the most polite way anybody has ever said that we yell too goddamn much. We're always screaming at each other.
Yes,
Right?
true.
But in sing song, that way it doesn't seem so intense.
Exactly.
Eat shit, Justin.
oh, this bird's for you.
Yeah.
Kyle, thank you once again, brother. Everybody, please tune in February 14th. And if you can't catch it live in progress,
January.
why did I say February? You got me thinking of February. Coming down there, damn it.
Because you want to come down on the 12th. Yeah.
Yep.
January
Call Matthew.
14th, Fight TV. Be there or be freaking square.
Yes.
I'll be there. I'll be watching. I'll be live tweeting during the whole damn thing. So what you gonna do, brother? Yeah. Everybody, please follow us and subscribe on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you get all of our videos when they come out, when they premiere. Hit subscribe, hit like, and get down with the JP Dub and all of our friends in the Juice Pro Wrestling universe because we love you. Until next time, wet 'em up, wet 'em up, wet 'em up. Wow!
for Palē Pro. It's insane. You better tune in January 14th or I will find you.
I'll find you and I'll give you a kiss.
Love you.
You gonna do sex to me? Did you like that video? If so, be sure to hit like and subscribe and check out more killer content from your boys at Juice Pro Wrestling. Whoa, yeah!